For example 5, we're going to find the center and radius of a sphere. So find the center and radius of the sphere, x squared plus y squared plus z squared minus 2x plus 4y minus 6z plus 8 equals 0. So here, we are going to complete the square. So we have our x's. Let's group our x's together. So we have x squared minus 2x, and then we're going to add a number here. And then plus our y's, so y squared plus 4y plus the perfect number. And then we have our z's, so plus z squared minus 6z plus that perfect number. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move this 8 to the other side. So therefore, this is going to be equal to -8. Then, of course, we're going to have to add the numbers. So if we add it to the left side, we have to add it to the right side. And since we're not multiplying anything, we just write the numbers there. So let's complete the square. So for the x's, we're going to add a 1. Add a 1 here. And then for the y's, we're going to add a 4. For the z's, we're going to add a 9. So then this is 1 on this side, 4 on this side, and 9 on this side. So then we write this as a squared binomial. So this is x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared, and then plus z minus 3 squared. And that equals, so -8 plus 1 plus 4 plus 9. And so that is going to equal a +6. And so really, thinking about center and radius. So this is 6. This should be really the square root of 6 squared. So our center is these values here. So that's 1, -2, +3. And then our radius is actually a square root of 6. Okay, so go ahead and try this example here. Find the center and radius of the sphere with x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus 6x minus 4y plus 8z minus 7 equals 0. So trying this out, you should have gotten the center of -3, 2, and -4, and the radius is 6. Now let's sketch a trace of a surface. So sketch the xy trace of the sphere, x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared plus z plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. So you have to be careful, read what it's asking. So it's asking the xy trace. So if it's asking for an xy trace, what we're going to do is we're going to set the z equal to 0. So you set z equal to 0, and then you solve, and then we get an equation of a circle. So let's do that. We have x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared plus, and we're going to set z equal to 0, plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. So this is x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared is 25. So this is going to be, we're going to subtract this 4 squared, or subtract 16 from both sides. So we have x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 25 minus 16, which is 9. So if I wanted to rewrite that just to be able to identify our radius, remember this should be the square root of 9. So that means our radius is 3. So we have our point 3, +2, and then the radius is 3. So we're going to go ahead and graph this. Okay, so we have 3, 2, so +3, 3, and then +2, which is here. So that's the center of the circle, and the radius is 3. So remember, this is the xy trace here, so it's along the flat plane here. So the radius is 3. So here, 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 and here. Okay, so again, that's the trace of the xy plane. Now just to kind of show you what this should really look like here. So here is the picture of the sphere here. And so they did a really good job of doing that. So the center would be at 3, 2, and -4, and then the radius of 5. And so that's the sphere there in the blue. Well, then notice our xy trace here is x minus 3 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 3 squared. And so my circle kind of looks like that, but notice it's kind of like that oval shape just because it's three-dimensional. Now go ahead and try this example here. Sketch the xz trace of the sphere, x minus y squared plus y minus 3 squared plus z minus 8 squared equals 10 squared. So it's asking for an xz trace, so what are you going to make equal to 0? So we're missing the y, so we're going to set y equal to 0 here and then solve. So try this example out. All right, so if you tried this out, you should have gotten the equation x minus 1 squared plus z minus 8 squared equals 91. And then, so you can see my trace here of this equation here. And then, so you can see the better picture here with the sphere. Now, I tried drawing the sphere. I just have a really hard time with that. But I just wanted you to see what that picture looked like. So here's the sphere. This is the trace along that XZ plane here. So XZ, it's along that plane, and there is that circle there.